And let's just see if the microphone is correctly on. Let me just confirm on my part. Hello, everyone. Welcome to hopefully a couple of streams on the Nordev YouTube channel. My name is Alexio, and today we are going to work a bit on React Native projects. More specifically, we are going to do a project, or I'm going to do, based on the famous to-do list. So I'll try to make it a bit more useful. We are going to slightly modify it and actually produce goal kind of like the New Year's, when you start to saying, well, I want to do this goal or that goal, and it kind of goes down the drain. Well, the idea would be we're going to do a to-do list for actually keep track of those goals. I'm just verifying if everything is alright or not. It seems to be. Just doing a quick shout out to Nordevs. Thank you for having me today. Always an honor to contribute to the community. Also, if you can, or if you want, don't forget to contribute to the community as well. We do have a Patreon. If you feel like it, if you can do it, obviously do not do it if you can't afford it. But it's always good to contribute to the community. It is something I need to do as well. So it's also a shout out for myself. Let's see. Everything is alright. I can see the stream correctly on my tablet. I'll try to keep an eye on chat, although I do have a rubbish tablet here. Not to trash too much Amazon, but this one takes a while just to update sometimes, and I might not see the notifications. So if someone starts to shout out something that I might be doing wrong, well, it will take a minute or two just to see it. So let's change for the workspace. Hello everyone, and I'm using OBS directly here instead of having a second monitor because it's quite hard for me right now to actually have both monitors on the table. So hello, as you can see, there's a improvised blinds bus behind me, which kind of implies what kind of project we are going to do today. We are basically going to build and improvise as we go. I'm streaming through my own private YouTube channel called Channel Mobile Dev, which, as you might guess, I normally do mobile development. I used to stream almost every single day for 60 days. I was doing the 100 days of code challenge. But yeah, I had to do a little break, and I sum up a bit of couple hours of streaming, so I think I get a bit of a hang of it. So let's start by creating a project on GitHub, you know, the usual spiel. Let's call this one goal tracking, and I guess that's like keeper because I'm really rubbish with names. Keeping track of the new years goals. There we go. We don't need any of this now, and we're going to see how to create a React Native project. So I need to do a lot of disclaimers on React Native, or at least on mobile development. There's a lot of caveats. It's not that it's that hard. It's just that there's plenty of caveats and things to just fall into a deep hole and having no absolute idea what's going on. So first of all, I'm more of a React Native developer than a React developer. I learn React Native first and then React later. So I might do things native, TypeScript, because we're going to use TypeScript. I might do things that might not be considered best practice. Hopefully, I can do a good job, or at least try not to embarrass myself here at live. So let's see. The first thing would be we need to create the project, a blank one, because here right now we have just the usual things. I can just go through it, but first we'll just create the project on my laptop. First thing would be just to have npm install. because it's a React JavaScript framework. Obviously, we need to have a sort of NPM kind of thing. Then it will be React Native, init, name of the app, and this will be just to create with TypeScript, which I do prefer to usual JavaScript. It's less of an anarchy. And we are going to use the native part, not with Expo. Expo adds a little more things to it. It makes it easier to just test things around in terms of just showing on a mobile device. But he adds another layer to it. He has slightly different codes on certain things. And I always did this just, the good, hard way, fashion way of developing, I guess. So what did we call our project? We call it goal tracking. I will just replace here and just copy this and open a terminal. Let me see where I'm going to create this. Will be on dev, which I have all my projects. So I can do, I believe it's going to create a folder, but just in case, let's create a project here. Let me maximize. Does it look good on tablets? Let me see. That's one of the things I'm worried about, is that it might not look too sharp when I'm streaming. No, it looks all right. I mean, it's a bit tiny, but this is not a full HD tablet. They might be right. So basically, I'm just going to create a directory and call it, not all of this, damn it. Just going to call it goal tracking. And also another thing with this project is that I try to keep in a spirit of doing and discovering as I go. I do know how to build most, if not all of it, but I decided just to not doing any sort of preparation, just to also show a bit of the struggle, right? Because sometimes we just see the final product is like, oh, it's quite nice, it's quite pretty, code is organized, perfect, but we don't see all of the hardships that goes with it. I think I've copied this, damn it. Goal tracking. There we go. We are on the correct directory. And now just wait a bit. And now I can talk specifically. One of the biggest caveats with mobile development is that the best way to develop right now is to have a MacBook. And that is because a MacBook can compile for both iOS and Android. And if you want to develop just for Android, it will be just fine with, well, either Windows with Linux or a Mac kind of computer device. But for iOS environments, you really need to have a MacBook of sorts to compile on an iOS environment. Also, there's a bit of a difference when you try to emulate. So on Android, you'll have the emulator, which we'll see soon enough. While on iOS, you have what is called a simulator. Now, the big difference between those is that Android will actually build like sort of a virtual machine and actually run on your machine, while on iOS, the damn thing will be a sort of an approximation of what will be on the real device, and therefore you might get some errors, and you might need to actually test on devices to be sure that it will run fine. So it was quite quick. I was expecting it to take a bit more time. Let's see. Yep, it did create. Damn it. So let's do the usual. Going into the folder, cutting the folder, pasting outside, saying replace. Yep, merge the whole thing. Yes, I can do that. Oh, damn it. No problem. Let's do the second oldest trick, which is renaming it to something, cutting the project. Let's see, is there any hidden folders? Nope. So you're good to delete this one. Perfect. Now we need to do code. And hopefully will not open my old projects. It didn't. Are you alone? Yes, you are. Let's see, let me close the window. Let me put this one here. And what do we need to do? First of all, we need to take care of the repository, which we start here. Everything's all right. It can be Never had good experience just copying it, everything. So let me see, one by one. And now we can use the actual GitHub, Visual Code console. There's usually a bug on my laptop that sometimes this will go blank and I need to restart it, but that's just fine for now. So that's whoa, it opened the incorrect one. Huh. It opened the old one. Thank God I saw that one just before we did some damage stuff here. There we go. Now it makes more sense. Yeah, there's more things to it. Oh, this is new. Don't need any of this. I think I can handle it. Okay, still fine. Right, so before we even commit everything, let's just see if we can run it. We would need 2 consoles. And shall I put on the bottom or on the side? I'm used to the side, so let's put it on the right. You'll have our code. And now there's 2 components to actually run a mobile app in React Native. The first of all would be the server that will run the actual project, and the second one will be the one that asks the whole project to compile and run. So first, to run the project, you can see, if you don't recall, which are the commands, which I've done this enough times to know it by heart. We want 2 scripts. Start will run the Metro, which will be the server that actually will be updating our app and is required for development. And the second one will be Android, because we have Android devices here at least. But you can do at home with whatever you want and feel like. I'm not one to judge on that. So first of all will be npm start. It should be instantaneous. Yep, there we go. Metro is running. Perfect, no errors whatsoever. And now is the least interesting part, which is to run on Android. And it will take a while. And this one, it will still need to launch the emulator. You might see, as you can see, that it's scanning a bit of a drops. Hello. Now sound is back. Don't ask me why, but sometimes the Yeti will just mute itself. Hopefully I can see it on time. Yep, there we go. I know. Damn it. It might be the Android. I have no idea. But it's quite demanding. Hopefully it was not my system saying I cannot afford to have a microphone on the system. So hopefully. And sometimes when I leave the window to a different desktop, it'll just hang. Like I cannot take this out. But as soon as this one launch, we can close this and like this. Yep. But yeah, first time running will take a while because it needs to pre-compile everything, just make sure everything is all right. And then once it's running, it should be just as quick as just hitting Control S to save, and we immediately will see changes here on my screen. Hopefully today. My laptop is a bit old. But one important thing to say is it's a bit choppy. Is it sensitive? It is. Alex was just saying that it might be chopping a bit, but it's just when it's first launching the emulator, and after that it should be fine. So no worries, the quality will be 60 FPS again, but it might take just a minute or two just to go through the first compilation. As usually on web, it's way snappier. It's just you do things and you don't need to compile anything. But unfortunately, on mobile development, you need to compile a lot of things. Don't get me started on iOS. That one is quite hard, even on MacBooks. There we go. And now the stream should be fine. Let me just go and confirm before we see the app. We are still on 33 frames, now 47, and in a second it should be 60 again, hopefully. Come on, little one. I mean, I know it's 56, but you should have gone back. Oh, 54, 53. We are getting there. I don't know. I think it's maybe because of this. I'll just get rid of this artifact in a second. This side effect of moving between different desktops, but as you can see, this is the default app that will launch with your React Native projects. On my side, at least, it's quite smooth, but it might be a bit choppy, as you can see me through the stream. Just to confirm, because my tablet is either lagging or this one is just telling me that it might have a problem. The usual problems with streams. Now as my tablet is slow. Come on, little one. I know you were cheap. There we go. Now I can see it's clear and smooth. Perfect. Now this would be the goal on running our future project here. If we needed for some reason to just refresh everything, we can just come to the console, press R, and basically just reloads the whole project. I don't really need the development options here. We can add it if you want. And as I was going to say, quick side note, just to know, if you want to compile it on your phones, you can. You just need to connect it to your phone. It might be different on... Oh, perfect. Alex just confirming that it's good now. Perfect. Yeah, on the first compilation, it might take a bit of a toll on my laptop, unfortunately. But as I was going to say, you need to do, you need to go to options on the Android case. On iOS, it is a bit different. I might just do, if I get an iOS device and explain how to do that, it's a bit more straightforward. But on iOS, you need to locate on your settings. On this case, I have a Xiaomi, which is slightly different from every single model is different. You need to go to your About phone, locate your build version, and basically it might be a bit hard to see. Whoop, here it goes, microphone. But can I see it correctly? Come on, stream. There we go. There's a build version here that if you press it, there's a little toast that says, well, you are already a developer. But if you do press it enough times, basically just tap on it, you'll just unlock the developer options. Then you go to the developer options, which should be somewhere, because sometimes it's not on the same place, which adds a bit to the complexity of developing on Android, I know. But if you go to your developer options, there's one thing you need to tick before you can even develop on your phone. Let me look at mine. Mine are on additional settings. Yep, and then there's developer options. And now you might see something like this. You need to take the developer options, and also, more important, you need to scroll down to debugging and activate USB debugging. And I also activated install via USB because on this phone particularly, I think I kind of need it. There were some security issues. And once you connect it again to your phone, the phone will show an option saying this computer is trying to connect to you to compile. Do you want it or not? And basically you need to say yes, otherwise you will not. It will refuse to compile, and you need to unplug and plug it again. That's a whole can of worms right there. And once you connect it to your phone, another issue that might arise, I know there's a lot of issues, and we haven't done any single thing yet, is that He might not detect your phone unless you put it on either transfer mode for accessing files, or if you put it on photo mode, which is just to transfer photos. Why is there two modes? I have no idea. That's just an Android stuff. But if you do that, with enough Google and patience, you'll be ready to compile on your phone if you want to. Or you opt out for the emulator if your laptop slash computer slash MacBook allows it. As you can see, we have here our little version, which we're going to delete soon enough. Let me just hide the console. Let me just restart the emulator because I can't stand the whole going around thing. And now, just to confirm, if I say run Android, it might just dip a bit. God damn it. Okay, now I'm not mute again. I wonder if there's something triggering it other than just restarting. Damn it. That's one thing I learned about streaming, is that there's always a new issue coming on every single stream. I'm as prepared as I can, and still there's some issues. So as I was saying, and I was probably muted, I'm just adding things. There is nothing new, but do not forget to add, your laptop keys to your GitHub in order to do this. Otherwise, you'll not work. The usual spiel. You're used to working on projects, and now to actually push things. I think I did, right? Right. So no, just put it. Now it should be okay, right? I'm okay, right, Alex? Go for me. Well, let me see. Yep. Good thing I'm having a tablet, but I'm not hearing myself. There we go. We have our usual React project that you can see through github.com/channelmobiledev/goal tracking, which I'm going to put somewhere on the YouTube video later. But right now, it should be okay. Yep, there we go. Thank you, Alex. You're a lifesaver. Let's see. We have the project now. There are important things that we need to add to our project, because React Native is really weird in the sense that out of the box, it doesn't come with many things. And one of the important things that we need is React Native navigation, which is an essential part of, well, navigating on a mobile app. Because the stack is slightly different from web, this will be the equivalent of having routing kind of thing on React or Angular or Vue. I never done things in Vue, so I'm assuming that every single JavaScript framework works the same. That's one of the things we need to add to our project. So let's start by doing, actually, let me start by doing a quick setup here. I need to create, let me initialize Git flow. So main, develop, fix, feature, release, fix, support. Yep, there we go. Initialize. And we are on this branch, which is not yet committed. And now we should be here just to have the usual setup, you know, the boring stuff. This stream will be really boring for people that know exactly what a mobile app is and whatever is supposed to do. But we have now Git flow, which will help with development. Let's find where the app starts, which is this one, the app.tsx. Actually, this is not really the first file to be called. It should be, where is it? The index? Yep, the index will be the first one. And then we'll call this one. So basically we can just change it. I never done that with, be honest, but if it fancies you, you can do that. Now this file here is one of the files that I usually just do the setups and just leave it alone for the majority of it. Let's start by actually clean the whole thing. Let's clean it up. Just let's see. Is there anything interesting here that we can use? Not really. This is for the styles, which we are not going to apply any styles on our main project. We don't need to import anything right now. Remove the whole thing. We just need to return. This is our main render. And tabs are not correct. Why are you not enforcing this? Okay, now it's correct. Weird. Maybe because of prettier. So we have the safe area view, which we need. Safe area. I'll just confirm in a minute. It might be wrong, but I believe it's the part that says now that we have phones that are basically curved, it needs to have a certain area to render the text correctly. Let's see if I do this. Can't variable is dark mode. Oh, right. I deleted too much. Do I need this? If we need to, we'll just add it. Let's just remove what we don't need. There we go. So right now, it's displaying correctly. So let me see this safe area view. Does it explain? It does. Nested content and automatically applies. Padding reflects the portion of the view that is not covered by the navigation bars, tabs, toolbars. Yep, exactly. Safe area is just started with iPhone X because of the curved screen, the bezel-less, or at least slightly bezel-less. And right now you need to add this just to make sure that it will just go fine. Here is, well, a square screen, yeah, but usually you need other things. So let's just remove, can I remove this automatically? Yep. And do I need all of this? I do need all of this. Perfect. And we can also remove this. Perfect. So before we do anything else, let's clean up. Let's not commit anything else on dev. And let's actually come here and say first issue. Add navigation. So it'd be like goals. Usually this is how I go along creating tasks. On GitHub or GitLab would be implement React navigation. We're going to use version 5. And I'm going through the process of actually showing also the bottom navigation, which I want to add. So let's see, implement React navigation, implement. See, this will multi-step kind of process, unfortunately. Bottom navigation. It's not, no, material bottom navigation. There's 2 of them. We'll see that in a minute. And that's just good enough, at least for one task. Yeah, I mean, who am I going to assign? Labels are too many labels to a project. Jesus. An enhancement, I guess. Project. Perfect. Perfect. So this is the first one. We are going to do the initial, usual. Oh, not the one I wanted. I want to do a feature start one. And there we go. If I do this, let's say here, I don't think so, but it will show feature one. There we go. Perfect. Every time we'll commit, we'll just show here because we'll just reference the number of the issue. But I guess this is standard kind of thing. So let's start doing more interesting things than the setup. I can close this window. And let's go to React Native Navigation. One of the biggest pains in Android. So what I want to do is I want to implement the base one, but I also want to implement bottom navigation, which is a sub-product of the React navigation. So the base installation, we want the version 5, very important. We are using NPM, so it's fine. Yep, copy this one. On iOS, you probably need to do one extra step that we don't need to do on Android, which is every time you install something new, you need to do pod install. But those libraries will always tell you when to do and when not to do it, so you should be fine. Right, so we have our new library here. And let's just confirm. Oh god, I mean, it should probably be better if it is on light mode, just for readability. If I put it on dark, it'll be easier on me, but not easy for you guys. We don't need to care too much. It will just install all of this. Believe me, it's important. And as you can see, if you're using Expo, you need to do this one instead. But we can just go on and move into this one. And we all need this, including the safe area context. Let's copy all of this. I believe this one, no, while this is installing, I can confirm that. No, there are certain projects on React that goes into what they call React Native community projects, which is basically essential projects, but that are not maintained directly by Facebook, I believe. Oh, not this one, this one. So everything is installed again. Why did Metro crash? Maybe I did something. Oh, maybe it was because of the installation. Oh, right. Another useful command, because sometimes, again, another caveat of mobile development, your project, your Metro instance might be stuck with an error that actually is not there. Because you might have fixed it, but it's still stuck on an old build, and for some reason it will not, clean up and rebuild it. So one thing that you can do is actually to do -- reset -cache. If you think you're having some difficulties just remembering, don't you worry, because this is kind of the usual. You'll do this so many times, it'll be natural to do -- reset cache. And basically, once you do, you'll just reset the cache and just rebuild the whole thing. The Metro part, not the Android part, thank God. Otherwise, it will take a while just to do anything. We've done this one. Hire linkings automatically, so we don't need to do it. If you are on a MacBook or a Mac product, you need to do, obviously, pod install. It comes with the territory, and now we need to do some extra steps, which is we need to add this to our index or our app, which could be this one. But to be honest, I didn't know we can do this here. So if I do this, did you crash? You didn't crash. Perfect. Oh, believe me, we would know if something goes wrong here. I'm immediately just crash. Because unlike web, there we go, was not found. let's see. Did I install this? I believe so. Let's see what happens. This is the usual. When someone says he's going to do a quick project, this is what might happen. You face a lot of things that we were not expecting. Face. Right, so now sometimes when I say reloading and the app crash, you really need to oops, come on, install it. You need to relaunch the app because it's saying reloading the app, but right now the app is not running. Therefore, you need to actually go and say npm run. Oh, come on, it's quicker to just type it. Run Android. And it was complaining about Stitch, which doesn't make any sense. But it comes with the territory, just having weird bugs that solve themselves by just saving, restarting, or saving and restarting. I know it sounds a bit like not an actual perfect science. React does have, or mobile development does have this kind of mysticism around it, that sometimes things will just work out of magic with no explanation whatsoever. And things you are perfectly certain will not happen. There we go. What's the problem? Now, let me try to do this as recommended. They said to put it on either file, and I believe it needs to be before React. Add the following at top, make sure at the top, and there's nothing else before it of your entry. Oh, right. So I didn't put it really on top. This kind of shows the amount of times I've done this, which is like once every single project. But once it's there, I assure you, it will just run. Right now, we just need to come and just overcome this kind of challenge. I believe that it was there. Not there. God, trying to solve React Native handler from file. But the problem is just whatever the package itself specifies cannot be solved. This file exists. That's really weird. Did I forgot? So let me try to see if I forgot to install something. Just to make sure. We did install this one. But let's give it a go again. We don't need Expo. We need this one, which will have a lot of things. And on this one. Warning, related to peer dependencies, even usual calls by incorrect version specified, you can ignore. If you're using project with React Native Windows, which we are not, okay. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this. Final, add the following on top. Make sure it's on top and nothing else before it. Okay. And we reload and it might be after probably app registry. Otherwise, I'll do one thing, which is cheating, and go to another project that I have. Just seeing, what the hell did I do there? Because, again, this is the kind of thing you're going to do once and probably forgot it. And once you need it, you just go to the documentations. But there's always this initial kind of libraries that are quite... Oh, there we go. No, sorry. There we go. No, the Metro was not running. But these kind of libraries that actually go really deep into the project, you might need to go and actually change some files that are not really usual for the, well, at least not normal in the development sense of a React Native app. There we go. See, just need to restart. So by magic, again, we've placed first import our React Native gesture handler. Apparently, I didn't install one of the libraries. Need to be careful with that. First import, and now it's running perfectly. The thing I was going to say is that React Native, if it doesn't exist, you can actually build it natively. Now, the native part of React Native is very subjective, of course, but when I say native on this context is that you can go to your iOS folder or your Android folder, and basically this will be an actual Android project and an actual iOS project, which you can open with either Android Studio or Xcode and actual compile independently. Now, do you need to do this? Absolutely not. So far, I've been using React Native, at least right now, for more than a year, I guess 2 years now, and I did use it before that, and I never needed to go deep into actually wrapping and getting the actual React Native things to actually build native code. But if you need to, there's an option for that. I would just strongly not advise that. We might need to do is to go into Android folder in a minute to configure certain things. So let's see which, well, I just said that, and where is it? This one is done. Do not skip this step. Yep. And now we need to wrap the whole app in a navigation. Yep, container. Usually, yeah. So as you can see, this is why we use our, or at least why I use, we can close this now forever, this one as more of a wrapper kind of thing, or initialization kind of thing. So we have the default function here. It needs to be the outermost. Wrap the whole app. Okay, no problem. We can even wrap it before the safe area. Right. What's the problem? Oh, we need to import it. There we go. And why did it import it out of order? React first, React Native second. Come on, you don't need to refresh. There we go. Our app is still up and running. Happily not crashing, at least. Let me hide the evidence. And we can move to the second. Oh, we haven't. Is it all right? Okay. On the version 5, they skipped the step, or oh no, we might need an extra step in a few seconds. So right now we have the base installation for React Navigation. We haven't actually implemented it, but it's now there, and now we need to implement whatever navigation we need to. It works by stacks. We basically define which stack, which view those stacks have, and basically once we click on whatever the navigation is, we can say go to this component, or go to the other component, or just render the other one. And that's basically how we're going to do this. We are going to use a tab navigation, a bottom. What is it? The bottom tab navigation. Bottom. There we go. But we don't want the normal one, we want the material bottom navigation, which is this one. As you can see, it looks quite all right. And you can have different colors and whatever. So let's create just this one, at least for now. Well, let me see if it requires anything else. Well, we're actually going to need also this library. Bottom components from React Native Paper. What is React Native Paper? We'll see in a minute. If you configure Babel plugin, you won't include a whole in your bundle. Okay. Make sure you have native and dependencies following guide install. Okay. Deal bottom tabs. Okay. Oh, actually, we're just going to install React Native Paper. So what is React Native Paper? All right. As I stated previously, people at React Native are quite lazy. And therefore, they said, well, you can just build whatever you want, as long as we don't have to. Therefore, a lot of things that comes as well, that's granted from the actual native development part are not by default on the app. And mostly will be material things, such as pretty buttons, pretty tabs. Whole things that are used to build on an interface might not be there. Therefore, we need a sort of an external library that actually implemented this for us, like normal behaviors, animations, and those kind of nice things that we are used to. This is sort of a bootstrap library for either Android or iOS. You can use it on both. It doesn't make any difference. And they can have, if I'm not mistaken, native components for every single one of them. Although it shows as Android, on iOS, I believe it will show the native counterpart of it. I might be wrong, but as far as I recall using this before, it is just the same as long as you want the material look, which we are going to use right now. Another caveat that we can see on most React Native projects is that they show what is called Snack, which essentially will show on real time a demo of that code running. It could be either Android, iOS, or web. Most of the times I'll recommend web because on these ones you normally have to wait on a queue. As you can see, you either wait or use Expo. In this case, it was quite quick. And basically, we'll just simulate on their side and show it on ours. The whole, where is the code? Oh, the whole project's here, okay. I have no idea why is this showing, or is this text? Why is it being... I have no idea what's going on right now. But we are in real time seeing some bugs. Oh, there we go. Just, okay, it's importing, whatever. I mean, I wanted to show people. Come on, little one. Okay, basically, there we go. You can see it running in real time. Any component that you need. Right now, we don't need, we don't need much. To be honest, our happy little view here does not need anything, but we can replace the React Native text with an actual React Native paper text, which if I put here quickly just to show text, and we have more properties that we had before because of text props. Okay, you have more properties than this. Why are you not showing those? Well, I know you have heights. What's title? The disappointment continues. So we have a lot of things, including text, but I know why. So there's also the concept of theme, which is also present on React Navigation, by which we can define a theme object and we can use it throughout the app. Therefore, instead of actually going on every single component and saying, well, text is this color by default, we actually define on the theme which color should be that text and just apply it throughout the whole app. And we don't need to import the default over and over and over and say default all the time. Right, so now going back to what we really came from to do, which is not this. What is this? Is this one. And I think I've done this. Confirm. I'll just install it again. There's no problem with that. Let's see if we require to do anything else. This API also requires vector. Ooh, this might be a problem. Because React Native vector icon sometimes is problematic. Hopefully it will not be. Let's install our vector icons. As you can see, we haven't done anything else other than just installing things. And all we have to show is this hello. I'm all going to build a small module just before we get too much out of time, to be honest. I don't want to stretch it too much. I just want to do it today. Base installation, show components around, moving from one window to another one, showing a component, probably more than just text. and probably show a list if we have time. It shouldn't be too difficult, but we are losing a little bit of time on these small component things. Okay, this one is done. Otherwise, we can, at least on my side, I can just move on from it. If you need to do it on iOS, you know, here's the chapter. Do not skip this part. You're kind of going to need it. I'm going to do right now for Android, which will require a bit of meddling with actual Android projects. Here we go. There comes the challenge. I can just move from one desktop to another, no problem. So, option, with Gradle, the recommended one. No problem. We're going to do this one. So there's two Gradle files. A good way to just understand the difference, or rather, not to fall into the wrong one. You just come to the project, do Control P, or on Macs should be Command P, and just pass it, and there we go. This is the correct path. As you can see, there's plenty of files around here. Inside this, we need to localize. No, I just need to do this apply. Copy it. I don't think about it too much. Just apply it. There we go. I don't think it matters too much where do you import it, if before or after, but we'll find out soon enough. And do we need to customize it? We don't, so we can just skip this part. Option manually, we don't need to, because we've done this part here. And we don't need this, we don't need this, because we are not on Windows, or we are not using web. Upgrading, we actually don't need this part, so I believe we are done. That was too easy. Either they just upgraded the whole thing, and the whole experience is way better. And actually, this one is crashed. It's crashing a lot more than I recall doing that, and I do React Native for a living, so I do find it suspicious that it's crashing that much. Might be due to a new update. Let's hope that. So let's see. Should take just a minute. If everything is alright, at least for now, should not crash. Because, yep. Unlike web, unfortunately, if there's any slight of thing, like any small thing that does any sort of behavior that you shouldn't do, the whole app will crash. There's no, oops, it's giving some errors, but it's still running. Unless you do all the errors with try-catch. Damn it, couldn't pronounce it. You are kind of out of luck. So right now, we have done plenty of installation for one bit. Let me just put all the changes here. And let me confirm what changes did we add. We add a navigation container, yep. And this one doesn't matter. This one doesn't really, a lot of packages. Doesn't really matter. And this one is quite important. So let's say one. And navigation libraries. Send it. Ship it. And just to confirm. There we go. Here's our commit. We'll do a nice merge in the end. Not necessarily today. Okay. Now let's add. Damn it. Let me just change windows here. Let me put this at the bottom. Perfect. No more wrong windows. Right, so we just need to do this, which is we need to create a constant, whatever it's called, that does the create material bottom tab navigation. That's a good name. And now we need just to do these tags. So for every single tab.screen, this will be an option that will be on our navigation. Let me show you. So let's do that. Let's create a constant tab. I can do it outside, I believe so. Yep, there we go. And it says doesn't exist. So let's import that. And now you're not complaining. Perfect. And now let's see. I can copy this and modify it on our IDE. Can I do it outside? Oh, I can do it. Let's say I can see constant navigation, which will be a component here. Return. return, and it needs to be scaffolding kind of thing. Usually I add some comments just to make it easy to see where the render is, but I can just skip it for now, and if we need to, we'll just add it later. There we go. And now if I save, it'll just complain that doesn't exist, but oh, it's not calling it, so it's fine. So let's call this one dashboard. This one like profile. And now we need to obviously have these two components. Now let's create quickly something here. I'm just going to put it here on the bottom because I'm going to add it to their own screens real soon. But the way that I build components, especially ones that kind of resemble what is natively known on Android as activities, is I create an actual component and I add a screen to it. Therefore, I separate the logic and all the operations with that from the screen, which basically would just subscribe to the whole logic component, which is, you know, the usual kind of, I would say, almost MVC kind of thing. So let's do that. Let's create, yeah, just create here and I'll move it to their own components later. So dashboard, let's call this one constant dashboard component. Component, right, equals to something, function, and it will have a return because it needs to. And that return will be what? It'll be the, actually I can remove this and say the component will be similar name, but actually different. It will be not component, but screen. And there we go. We have done our component. And now to our screen here, which now will have something. That something might be this one. Save it, perfectly align. And now we can say, add this one here. Because we're lazy, we just want to see one thing here. I could just remove this for now. Well, no, actually, we can do this. Because we are even lazier. Now, we need to actually get this navigation inside here. So we need just to say, get this navigation here. Obviously, we'll not like this because this is not capitalized. It needs to be capitalized. Navigation. You need to do this. Save it. And now, it doesn't show anything. Damn it. What might be the problem? Let's see. Nah, this is a scaffolding. Let's start to restart it. Both of them I've used. Both of them should be showing. All right. Let me do one thing different then. Let me try to actually directly put it here. All right. So if I remove this and say replace it with this one, actually putting on top. No, it doesn't like, can only contain screen components, which is direct children. Yep, it needs to be just one. So removing this. Oh, actually, no, the tab navigation does not allow that, but this one allows it. There we go. So there's a problem with render of this one. Create material bottom navigation tab bar, right? Right. Tab of navigation. Navigator. Yep. And yep. That's really weird. A nice mystery we got here. Okay, let me try to do one usual trick, which is, let me wrap the whole thing on a view. Because the thing is, if I take this and place it here, and obviously we'll just copy the closing tag that I wanted. See, I'm just going to apply a style. Come on, styles. I need to import the view first. You need to know what this is. Okay, now styles. Yes, a drag style here, and will be a background of, let's say, red. We need to see it correctly. Red. And there we go. Okay, let me then do the usual flex one. Is this your problem? Kind of is. 0 will just stretch, but it'll just stretch as long as it needs to fit. And let's see, flex direction. Yeah, this shouldn't be the problem. Column. Nope. Interesting, interesting. So if I remove this, right? What is the problem? Status bar. Can I remove this? Yes, I can. Could it be that there's a problem here? Like on cache level? Nope, it doesn't seem to be on cache level. Just in case. Sometimes these kind of problems are solved, but because we change the fundamentals, they kind of need to restart. And that's one of the parts that is the most annoying on Android development on React Native, is that sometimes there's no errors. It's simply just not keeping up with you. But oh god damn it. Let's see. Remove this. Just, you know, good old build the whole thing. Really? Okay. Oh, actually, let me. Was the text inside? It was. Interesting. So this might be the problem. Let me try to then see what might be the issue. Might be that this view here needs to also be a flex one. That's right. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Me making a fool out of myself. There we go. Damn it. Why? Why does it need to be so complicated? Okay, that's fine. These two styles here. Obviously, we just need to flex one. Do we need flex one? We might not need flex one on this one. Let me just confirm. Might inherit, yep, from the parent. Right, because this view is wrapping text. Yep, it's just inheriting from the parent, therefore it doesn't need the flex one. This one, we need to do the usual. So how do you style things on React Native? Should be probably the similar to React. So we need to do the constant style. God, I forgot how to do this, because I normally copy from other places. So it'd be styles, style, new style sheet. Damn it, I forgot it. React Native styles. Style. Come on, I want an example. There we go. As a good programmer or good developer that I am, I never bother with learning the whole thing. So let's call it a container, which is normally what I call main containers of every single component. So it's just complaining that it's not being used, correct? Then we should not declare on. Expected type comes from property container, which is declared here on type. I have no idea what this is. Nor do I care right now if this is just because you just want to be called styles dot container and just to remove. Oh right, I know what it is. Problem is me trying to rewrite the rules. There we go. And now refreshing. Just the same. We can actually remove this container in a minute. I just want to be sure that if I copy this and say fit here, it will work. It'll work. Come on. I mean... Oh god. I swear this is the worst part. This is just the hardest part. It's just to make sure that things are working. After that, everything is just a breeze. So just to confirm that I'm not doing anything stupid. We have the component here, which is being imported here. These two components, they both have distinct names. And if there was the same name, oh, they don't complain. Okay, just for simplicity's sake, let's put this one here. Enough. Right, so, right, I might see the problem. What if I do flex one? There we go. There we go. Here's the problem. It was not flexing enough. Yep, kind of. It was not stretching enough, and therefore didn't show. Now, the problem that I see right now is that it doesn't show an icon. It does show the name, which is the name that we provide. Well, they kind of infers the name from the name here, although this name is not actually the thing that's written here. It's more that they need the almost like an ID. So to do that, we need to actually modify it in a different way. But for now, let's just say that I want to copy. Put the 3 friends. Right, and the problem is that they have not different names. So profile, this one, let's call it settings for now. And there we go. If there's different names, different IDs, therefore it will not complain. And as you can see, I mean, it's quite hard to see it navigating to a different screen, right? But it kind of flashes a bit, and it has it has a little nice animation. It doesn't have an icon, which we're going to fix right now. Make it prettier. So now that we have the navigation, we can remove some components that we don't need. We don't need this debug text. We actually need flex. So let's call this one navigation. Navigation container. And also have the flex one, as usual. And come here and say styles, not this one. There we go, much prettier now. Right, so let's add our icon and let's add our little views with different text in a second. Let me just remove settings for now because we're not going to need that. It automatically balances things. You don't need to actually position it manually, fortunately enough. Right, so icons, right? We did install a library called vector icons, so we can use that one. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Icon. Tab bar icon. That's the one. We just need it on options. Options was... How am I going to put options? It's not just options, is it? Oh, perfect time for a call, which I can, and it looks like a perfect number. So it needs to be another time, guys. Not the actual call, not stream. Right, so let's see. Where do I get the icons? So icons should be initial root. It's nice to have if you want to define a different order or other than the first one. We can say, for instance, that we want to have different tabs and we want dashboard to be in the middle. We can say, right, just put this property, which is initial root as on. These colors, we can get it from the team, but we can actually define it. All sorts of properties. Now, what we want is options, correct? Right. We actually want this one and we actually want this one. I think I've done this differently. Which was the lazy way. And by lazy way is someone somewhere had the same problem. So how to add vector icons and React Native, just in case. The explanation. Got the point. There we go. Stack Overflow. There's the problem here. It doesn't exist. So let's see. How did my friend here solve this one? Have icon. Okay. Oh god, is this one this big kind of okay. Do we have navigation options? Is it navigation options? Let's see. There we go. There we go. And it needs to be an arrow function, correct? Because on these options, we can say even names and whatnot. So let's see. Does it receive a focus? Let's try first without any sort of shenanigans. And icon. Doesn't need to be too much. So one of the things I don't like is that this thing gets a bit bigger than I want to. So icon can and will come from the actual active paper. Okay. Well, because this is using an icon, not really an icon, but rather the icon property from React paper. Fair enough. I think I can use that. So it's just complaining. No. Right, I see the problem. I'm trying to use this with a style that is not really compatible. Right, I see. Problem is that this is not actually. There we go. What's the problem with name? Isn't assigned to type intrinsic source and color. Okay, no problem. Let me try one thing. If I save, oh, I see. It tries to do. Yeah. Okay, see. That's why I needed the arrow function here. It's get this focused. It gets this property here, I suppose. Now you can refresh. And now you crashed because some things. Let's see. There's size. It's not assignable to type intrinsic attributes and pick. Why? Come on. Let me see. Really? Wait. Why are you using all of this path? Doesn't make any sense. For default icon from avatar. Okay, let me do one better. Vector icon. React native vector icons. There we go. Because we have this already installed. Usage. Bar. Yeah. And guess which library is this one? Although it's not the material one, is the same one. So there we go. There's just, and this is the material community icons is the one that we want. Because inside React Native vector icons, there's plenty of them, and we are going to use the material community icons, which, if we search for it, you'll have a whole ass list of it, including orange, which we'll show in a minute because it takes a while to just reload everything. It'll contain the whole spiel of a lot of icons. In a minute. Yep, there we go. So you can do all sorts of icons. We are going to use the material one. Let me copy just the whole thing. And just bulldozer this out of the way. There we go. Import. Oh no. What did you do? Do I need to install this? Just come by default. Apparently, I do need to do that. Okay, no problem. Let's do that. Where is it? Really? You're going to make me... Oh, God. It's here. Get it. That's fine. That's fine. I can live with this. Oh. Did run this one. So we should be there by default. But, okay. Let's try it again. It should be there. We're not using this. Because that's the old way of doing things. As you can see, we are just trying to actually build a project, a simple one. We haven't built anything, just a label. But this, to be honest, this is the most difficult part of just the whole thing, because it's just this setup that just has a lot of steps that you might just have, you know, naive assumptions that things should be working once you do npm install. Unfortunately, it kind of requires a bit of workarounds and trying different things, and sometimes magically, and I swear this happens, it's giving me 500 errors. Oh, error 500. And if I restart my laptop, it'll work. And those days, I'll just say, well, black magic works, I guess. And there we go. As you can see, now it's working. Although the size is horribly small. So let's fix that. And this size inherit from somewhere. This size, where does this size come from? Size. Every icon can be passed as font size in the style object. Okay, so this comes from the problem of the theme. Default is 12. Oh, I do believe this one is a bit better. So let's see. I am going to ignore this for a minute. Still living here just in case we need it. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Now it's too big. 28? 26. There we go. Much better. Now, this is just one, obviously. We need to do this for the other friend as well. And we haven't actually shown how the navigation actually works between components, but that's fine. For now, it's fine. Right now, you know, 2 icons. Perfect. And we can just show and to actually do this. So for profile, what was it? Profile? Profile. User? Accounts. There we go. It's account, the name. So copy this one. And come here, instead of home, you just put it account, refresh. There we go. Perfect icon that we need for this tab. And let's say, I mean, I'm building 2 profiles just to show, but I'm not implementing an account right now. And dashboards could be home. Yeah, I'm sure. Or a goal. Maybe a good icon would be a star. Maybe we can change everything later, right? So there's no problem. Flare. Never heard of this one. Dev Star. I mean, nothing says goals like a Dev Star. Let's see if it works fine. I don't know if I can use the community ones out of the gate. Oop. And if I refresh, sometimes Prettier would just be mad and just go all around, making no sense. Come on. What's your problem? There we go. Dev Star as goals. Well, let's call this one not dashboard, but actual goals. But dashboard as an internal name. So to do that, we need just to say options, right? It is options. So here on options, let's say name, color, label. This. Need to do this. Come on. There's a problem. Yep. The label. Yep. This is the correct one. So it'll be goals. There we go. Have our goals here. Profile here. Internally will be dashboard goals. Let's change this one. Goals, because it'll make it a bit harder for ourselves to have one name, one thing, another name, another thing. That sounds recipe to burn the whole project down. I had a lot of projects that I needed to figure out what the hell was going on, and basically I could not figure out because names were different. I had to follow rabbit holes. You know, the usual good fun of actually building a project that is not yours. Okay, now we have actually two screens here. But I wanted to actually also create my components so that I can also show you how to import those components and build small things. So let's go to the root of the project. Let's say new folder and call this one, I don't know, source. Which we should change this one inside in a minute, but we'll do that afterwards. Actually, let me first commit, because I don't want to do something that I might regret later. Let's see, implement navigation or bottom navigation. Okay, there we go. And here I'm going to create a new folder called components. Keep a bit of an organization. Inside of it, I'm going to create another folder. And I'll call this one the name of the component, which should be goals. Now, the way that I normally organize is not having just one folder for components, another one for screens, but actually, because these components might have small views inside of it, I'll just create for every component their own folder. So here, normally, this is how I organize. You don't need to do this way, or you might even find better ways to do this, but I normally do goals.components.dsx, which is the format for React Native or React. And also, I'm going to create another one called goals.screen.dsx for the view. There we go. And now to do the usual spiel, which is to create a stateless component or a component, and I'll just add state later. Normally on React Native, at least right now, it's very common to see classes for building components, but as far as I can tell, React stated that they are moving to hooks and therefore components like, well, this constant arrow function instead of using classes. So I've been using that for a while. I think that's the way that they're trying to go in the future, but right now classes are still fine. And if you know React Native and actually using classes, that should be the same thing. So right now, this component will be called goals component, right? Which is just a function here, and there should be a return. And the return, actually, why am I doing this by scratch when I have done this here? Right? We are developers, we are lazy, we don't need to do repetitive work. That's for suckers. Let's copy this. Do we need any of this? No, actually we don't need any of this stuff. Here's our small component. Save it. All organized. Here will be the same. Let me hide just to have a bit more space. Screen will be here. And since I didn't hear it from Alex, I'm assuming that we are still good with the microphone. Yep. Let's see. Here's our screen. That's nice. Bit are good. Again, importing the React. Because I never know this by heart. For text. Could be from React paper. Why not? Right now, there's no difference, but in the future, you might have a bit of a difference. So right now, we have component and the screen. And now if I just do this, not remove presets. I want to import this. Right, because we are forgetting a very important step. I always forgot about this one. Export default. name of the component. There we go. Now we have a functional component here, or at least is functioning, not actual function component. There we go. And now export default again. You're lazy. We copy, we paste, and we move on to more important things. Here we go. And now what we need to do, we need to say purge the whole thing. Import this. There we go. Now save it. And there we go. Now we have importing different components on different files to our main navigation. So ideally, you have as little as styles as you can here, a little views and whatnot, and you just import to the main navigation here what components you need to do on every screen. And then you can also add, instead of actually having this just these single components, you can import other stacks of navigation inside, because you need to go back and forth through on inside of these views here. This will get complex as it goes, but then you just, instead of just a tab, you create a navigator to say goals or to profile, and therefore you just, cascade inside the app all of those views, and then you specify the actual logic and views and whatnot inside the components. Perfect. So now we are just missing one thing, which is normally on Android. On iOS, you just have the, probably without any sort of navigation on top, unless you're on a view. We are just missing our navigation bar here on top, which we can add. Let's see, React Native. No, actually, more important than that, we are going to add a list, because it's been 1 hour and a half. I don't want to search it more than this for now, because you've seen how much painful it is. Oh, actually, this is very important as well. We are using React Native with TypeScript, and as you know, most libraries, if not all libraries, are, well, basically this is JavaScript. So you need to add installation of types of that particular library in order for TypeScript to know which type it should be. Most of the times, did he actually do it, or do I need to do this? So this one normally is quite safe. What I normally do is, what's it called? npm.js. Yep. My usual website of choice. I could have sworn, oh, I have to copy this. If I copy this, put it here. Material community icons. Okay. How about this friend here? Do we have a match? Vector icons. Huh. Well, but it did install something, because now it's not complaining. There we go. It does exist. Huh. But I was searching for a specific implementation, not the actual library, so therefore it doesn't exist, the search that I was looking for. Right, one last issue. So let me first do this and say add, oh, forgot the dash, add component. Sorry, add dashboard, goal component. Got the name for a second, and now here I'll add this one and say one, add type. Right, and do not forget to push. Some accident. My laptop might end up just burning. The whole stream thing, which this is why I have a specific fan behind it, just pulling air to it, because he might overheat a bit. Right, now I want the list here, because that was the goal for today. Now profile obviously will be a bit different from goals, although right now it's just showing the same thing. What I can do is I can copy the whole logic and create a new component. So, not here, but here I can call it profile. Therefore, I'll just preserve this dummy kind of text while still moving to a list on goals. So it'll be profile dot component dot tsx. Because we've done the first thing, which is we have navigation. Now we can move between screens. Although right now it's what it is the equivalent of having fragments and moving between fragments on Android. But that's like the base kind of navigation. In the future will be like going back from different views, transporting data from one view to another one, those kind of fun things. But we have the base to do that right now. We are going to move to the next more important thing that we have on Android, which is showing things and showing things on lists, which is very important because that's like the main. Most apps, if not all apps, have a list, and usually is immediately when you start up the app. So we have these two new components. Let me put some logic in it. Same logic that we have here, but slightly different. This one is here, not this one. This one, no. Goals here, profile. There we go. Profile screen. So instead of goals, profile. If I can type correctly. There we go. There's a profile. Where is the component? Goals component. I can just go here, copy, and say here, here. This one is not correct. Actually, I can do this. The lazy option. Typing is just, nah, not for me. There we go. Now we have this component. We can test out by actually come here and say set of profile component. There we go. It did import automatically because we did this. Now, obviously, now it still looks the same because it's still the same. But we can commit just in a minute. Let me first do the profile and say just to show that it's different. Profile. Oh, the code organization here is terrible. This one will go here. This one will go here. Why did I do this? I want the screen. Yep, there we go. And this one, I want the screen. There we go. Now I can put hey. Now I want this screen, please. There we go. This one will be B. And now you'll see that I'm not trying to trick you guys. There's different components now being loaded right now. Perfect. Now, what does it need to be doing? This screen could be like, oh, my laptop froze. No, the stream froze. No, stream didn't froze. My laptop did froze. Oh, that's weird. Or is it my keyboard? Okay, that's weird. Am I back? Yep. Oh god. For a minute I thought the stream would just went down. Everything's alright. Everything is still alright. Okay, AB is perfect. Let me save. Okay. Well, I didn't want on goals. I wanted to put it on profile because profile now will be safe for a bit. That's. Let me just commit the whole profile as it is. Yep. So it'll be something in lines of add profile component. And I just no. Can I amend? Oh, I don't want to amend. That's just so much work. I put an equal instead of an actual dash. This was really, really important. I would do it, but then I'll just squash the whole thing. So let me just show you guys what just happened. There's an equal here. But I was just, oh, that was the worst thing that could happen. That's fine. Right, so now I want to add a list. Lists, fortunate enough, come by default with React. So I'll just come here. Instead of this, I need to see React native list. Now, like Android, there's a difference between a flat list and, well, to be honest, there is no such thing by default as a recycle view or recycle list, which basically would be faster, but I think this one is quite optimized, and it is just perfect enough for 99% of cases, even if you have like enormous list. But there are implementations of the other list on here, obviously not official one, because this one is quite nice. Let's see, I want an example. I want just to show a list of items. And where is that example? This is just an item, right? Or am I going crazy? Oh, okay. Got to scroll. That's why. So, flat list. Oop, too much. Flat list have 3 components to it. As you can see. First of all would be import that flat list, React Native. It needs data, which will be our data, obviously. It needs a render item, which is basically just a template for showing for every single row. And the key extractor will be the ID, which is just a fancy way to say this is how you're going to distinguish between one item and the other one. So what did you do? You did an ID, or you need just title. So we can just do a constant data here. Obviously, we can just say, no, we don't like that. We want to actually import that data from, not the screen, but from the component. And that is quite easily done by doing this. We are going to pass data inside this view via props. You know, as you usually do with React Native or React. So this prop will be called, let's say, data. It will be like, let's call it data as well. I don't see any problem. And let's see, let's say constant data. Do I need to put it as a state? Okay, let's put it as a state. Data and then set data equals to use state. This is the new shiny way of doing things with React hooks. There we go. And data here would be here. It's basically saying, well, you don't have anything of such defined here. So how do you put a prop here? You do by doing an interface, and then you say props. Props. Yep. And now you're going to say data of type, I don't know, object. Can I do this? I think so. You don't need to define object. And now you copy and say on the actual main function, main argument here, props, prop. Not poop. Doesn't really matter what you type, to be honest. Oh, does it? I think it doesn't. You can just type whatever you want. It might be because of type, right? Oh no, right. Because this one. Now I just need to stay props dot data. There we go. And now you're going to complain that the item overload for props of type. Oh, right. Wasn't this the problem? Oh no, the problem was the type of props. Okay. Yeah, but this is something we need to also figure out. I do feel that I chose the wrong thing to do, which is try to do this instead of a constant, actually trying to over-engineering to what is supposed to be the end result, but that's fine. I can take it, no problem. Constant. Let's call this one, I don't know, list item row. List item is just fine, I guess. You. better. Obviously, we can call it even whatever we want, but just in case. And then this will receive a thing called item as an argument, which will be this item here. And here we'll just have a return. This will be what, a view of sorts. Actually, it will not be a view because we did install React Native Paper. So if you go to React Native Paper, instead of actually building a view for it from scratch, we already have something built for us. So what we want not a chord, list. List. There we go. There's plenty of things on lists. We want list item. No, actually, we just want a list. Oh, no, we want a list item because we can define a lot of things inside of the list item. So that's what we want. Come on, little one. There we go. And now you're complaining list does not exist. Import it. Now you're complaining there's arguments that are missing. Title is missing. Title equals it needs, yep. I do find it weird that I don't see any comments on the top of things. Normally I put some comments just to clarify which item is what, but that's fine. It's still, yep. So, list? I almost forgot how to do this. Array. Could be array. Type. Actually, I don't need to specify which type this is. Use state, and then here it'll be what? It'll be an ID of type, I don't know, number, no, string. Could be string. It's being used as a value. Yep, you're correct. I'm defining. Yep. You know, it's been a long day. Let's see. I'm just doing this by hand. So let's say 1. Could it be, or do you need to be a string? You're using a string, so you're going to use a string. 1. And here would be title, which will be, hello. 1. And what's the problem with title? It needs a comma. It needs a comma. Now this one, yep, is not correctly done because it should be an array. And now we can say, right, we do like one object, but what would be better with 2? Probably this 2. There we go. Now we have a list here. Copy items. For now, let's use the usual trick, which is any. We'll just infer the type in a minute. We just need to be an array of objects of this type, which we can do type just in a second, but I just want to quick and dirtily showing on the screen here a list, and then we'll just go and show correctly. There we go. And now, is it on profile? Oh, actually, I put it on a wrong component. Damn it. It's fine, but it was not the goal to do this here. We'll just do that in a second. I mean, shame on you, audience. You didn't tell me anything. You saw me making this mistake and you didn't say anything. No, but it's fine. As you can see now, we have... right, we didn't get anything from the item, therefore it shows hello, obviously. But right now, we want to take out this title, which is passed on every single instance of this list item view. So basically, what this is saying is for every single render of the number of items on this array, it'll render one item, which is equivalent of doing a form. This is just an instance of this one. I mean, I'm explaining this, but most people probably know this if they are listening to me right now. Hopefully. If not, hope that was quite a good explanation, I guess. Item dot title. There we go. Because it was an autocomplete, I was thinking if this was the correct way. Obviously, this as it's implicitly type any because we didn't specify. We need to say on this flat list here, well, this is the type of items that you're going to receive, and then put in that type here as well, and then probably say on the state, right, this is the type. But right now, I think we've done exactly what we wanted to do, which is put a list and show data on the wrong component, but we are showing data. And I want just to show something, which is a problem that we don't have on web, which is, as you can see, list is growing steadily, which is fine. I can even show you guys on funny thing, which is, well, there we go. We'll do the usual debug thing. Background color. Red. Right? I mean, the list occupies the whole thing, which is fine. But now, there's a problem, which is, as the data grows, this is not like web, which will just automatically scroll. This is actually a view which has this dimension. So we need a sort of a scrollable component, or because we have a list, it should scroll automatically for us. And that's what I wanted to show you guys. So now if I copy enough, I mean, just, you know, I will complain, but because of the IDs, it needs to be different. But we're just going to actually change this. I can count quickly. Right, here we go. Still short. Damn it. I should have got with a random API and I could have shown fetch. But that's another thing to show in the future because that involves a bit of it involves permissions or accessing internet, which is also a funny thing to show because it's slightly different from the usual web development stuff. But let me just remove the red. It's quite hard on the eyes. As you can see, by default, the list will scroll automatically, so you don't need to do anything else. It just populates the items that you want with this list item.item, which is a React Native paper component, which you can add other things, say description or icons, which I can do that just quickly just here because this component is pre-built with good stuff. As you can see, the usual Androids will have this subtitle kind of thing. It should be subtitle, not actual kind of thing. You can even add an icon. You can say on the left or on the right, which let me just demonstrate really quickly and hopefully without any sort of major bugs. Actually, let me put this one here to make it easier. Icon to the left could be here. There we go. And it just automatically adds this from this case is list on icon, but we could add it from the React Native what's for material community. Oh, folder is nice. Sure, why not? We'll just change it in the future. We can even change colors. So yeah, for now, I'd say first stream showing this is like 90% of what we do on React Native project. You have a component, you fill out with data. Most of the times will be a list. Other times will be a list with other fancy stuff. Most of things are pre-built, which is a good thing of using libraries such as this one, React Native paper. You don't need really to reinvent the wheel. Floating action buttons actually extend, which is quite useful. Those kind of nice things are usually, well, you're used to use on Android development are here. You can even add this specific for operating systems, which is also a bonus because sometimes it will not appear. We didn't add an action bar. We might just do that next time. But right now, I'm going to do one final thing before we call it a day. I'm going to actually put this on the right components. So I just need to do a transplant of code. One place to another one. So screen. Let me copy this. And put this here. Take this flat lace out. Heading down. One matters. Put it here. And I'll copy this component here, which I've put inside of screen. Could be outside, but you know. Could be outside. Actually, I think it needs to be here. Now it needs to import the whole list of things. And here we are not going to do this. I can remove this. Just a little tidy up before we call it today. Commit everything. Obviously, we're complaining about this part. And I can just copy this. Which I need to copy with the parentheses. Yep. Oh, this item will still be any. We'll just add types here. Remove this front. Remove this interface. We are not using it, therefore it doesn't need to be there. We don't want our code polluted with unnecessary things. Component. Let me just copy this whole data file. Constant. Damn it. Where does it need to be? It needs to be here, here. State. Yeah. Of this. Take data out of it. Put it in. There we go. There we go. The goal is now is what it should be. Nice. Before we go, I'm actually going to do one thing, which is kind of getting me on my nerves. I need to put render when there's a render. It makes it easier to spot when you are actually rendering stuff. Now, by default, I should put this on every single component. Therefore, that's what I need to do because I don't know. It makes it. This is something that I've seen on a company I work on, which was by default having all these components. More like explain, more not in the sense of explaining where it is or what it does, but rather just to be easier to read. What does it sit? What does it do? Kind of. So most of the times just be like the mimic of this, but the goal is just to separate a bit of code. It's easy to identify where is the render. And I've got used to do it this way in order just to spot things. Code like just, like this kind of feels dirty to me for some reason. So states will be here. So here will be the goals component. This will be a big commitment. Just to show. There we go. Export as an H. This one is on. Close. This one will be props. So easy to spot what this is. This will be a goal screen. We should do a poll for next stream so we can vote which color should we use on the app, because we're going to use material design and therefore there's a primary and there's a secondary color. And I'm terrible with design stuff. For me, obviously, this kind of pre-built stuff, it's perfect because I don't need to second guess if this is correct, if this is not, if you should do. Actually, see, this is the problem. No, this is the render. Yes, this is not the screen. This is, I just lost my attention for a second. Renders, yeah, shows the list item view. Right. This tells me what this is. And there's a render, obviously. There's the main render. Okay. Always called render. This component is good to go. one just needs visual profile component. There we go. This one is done. This one is also done. Perfect. Now just leave us with this. Main component. There we go. And now just putting here to render. Render. There we go. I know it's not the most glamorous kind of work to do. The end of the stream, everyone is tired. But it's something I just like it to keep it a bit tidy up. Here we go. No, this is rendered. No, actually, this is rendered, but this is like the navigation component. Therefore, it's just inherit from here. Yep, some correct way. Here would be our navigation stacks, which is normally what this is called. All right, let's all commit. Confirm. I want to introduce too many mistakes, so let me just first add these two components and say add goal, no, add list to goal component. Goal with capitalized, yep. Okay, and now these two friends will be refactor, right? Because that's what we did. Refactor comments on. Yeah, this is fine. Right, and now to confirm everything is fine. Yeah. Now to update. There we go. All our comments are here. We did this. We did this. And I can just call it today because essentially we've done what we wanted, which is add navigation. We did add extras. We shouldn't have added on that issue, but that's fine. So let's say finish. And actually I did this, but I forgot to merge things. But actually merge like on here, doing a pull request. Is something I need to... actually, I still need to do that because it didn't close the branch automatically. Oh, it did close. Huh. So it does close the branch, but it doesn't... Oh, this friend is complaining, but... Do this. Oh, come on. Really? There we go. There we go. Just before, believe it just crashes. With no apparent reason. Come on, little one. There we go. There's no problems. It's just yeah, being paranoid or React Native. Okay, so just because I don't like to do this. Oh, the branch is already closed. Okay, next one. I wanted to compress all these comments, and it did merge branch. I did forgot I need to do that. Finish the task after. Oh well, this one will be like this. The other ones, we need to be extra careful. Normally I just go on and read all the changes just to make sure that I'm not doing anything I shouldn't do, but that's fine then. Okay. Right, so just to conclude, at the end of the stream, right? We did build and go throughout all the pains of actually starting a React Native project in TypeScript. Now, I say all the pains, but we didn't address certain difficult pains, which are types or certain things of types for these lists. That's something I'm going to do next stream. Define types. Actually, having categories for the list items, because we might have different types of list of goals. Therefore, we need to do some sort of planning, introduce types here, passing on arguments from one place to another one, and involve types with that, which will be a can of worms on itself. Even today, I'm still kind of, sometimes I'll just put any and let it live there for a while I still address other things. But yeah, we'll just address the whole more small fry kind of things we need to eventually address, but I think we've done the bulk of it. Initializing a project, actually running on the Android, which, I mean, to be honest, I can run it on my device just to show you guys. And go throughout the whole pains of installing the main navigation, which unfortunately we need to do it, otherwise we cannot just, it will be fine for one screen, but not for a lot of screens. Add that, add vector icons, which sometimes is a pain. Today we just add just a tiny bit of a pain. We have our list here. In the future, what we're going to do is actually start working on interface, actually start working on actual features, such as, going through the usual add items, store items. Storage is it's a bit different from usual, because we need to store it locally, and there's plenty of alternatives. We're going to explore some of them, and we're going to show right now on my phone. So it's the same command. I need to close the emulator quickly, because normally what React Native does when it's compiling Android is that it's going to look for any devices. There we go, now it's compiling. It's trying to look for the emulator. Yeah, man. Okay, what's the problem? What is the problem? Let's see. One last thing before we go. Our 2-hour stream here. Let's see. Oh, damn. Right, security exception. Permissions, use package. Okay. You need, there we go. You need the Android permission, install, grant permissions. Okay, what this means is that most of the times on Androids, sometimes they have different implementations. On my case, on my particular phone, the Xiaomi phone, basically they say they'll just pop up a screen here, and I need to approve that app to run and install on my device. Otherwise, it'll just say, nah, we're not going to do that. So let's see. I think that's the problem, because I had that problem before on a lot of projects. Come on. Wait. I do have the Android development environment set up. Okay, this is a different one, isn't it? Let's see. No online devices found. And I connected my device. There we go. Moving the device. Putting the device in. Saying file transfer. It shows something here. There we go. Does open. I know that my phone is connected. Oh, I know what the problem is, which is something I'm not going to fix right now, because it will take a while. The thing is, when you install Android development on any sort of, at least on Linux it is like that, I believe in Windows is the same way, and on Mac it should be the same. You have some environment variables that you need to be public, like on Bash or on macOS, I believe is Z Shell, if I'm not mistaken. So what it needs to happen is that Android needs certain variables to be accessed to, even like Java ones, which sometimes doesn't come when you install. It's just, a whole kind of worms, and a whole morning just configured everything. Basically, on this particular profile that I have here for my operating system, Unfortunately, I don't have it configured. I have on my, well, the work one, which I had all these troubles. I had to configure this by hand, because basically what it is saying is that no online device is found. So my phone is connecting perfectly with the laptop, but ADB, which is the bridge that will connect the Android to your well, basically your Android device. No, sorry, your Android device to your development environment, is not detecting this phone. Normally, that's something that comes out of the box with Linux. The not finding part. Basically, we say, well, it doesn't exist. You need to add exceptions for any sort of reason. I have no idea why they didn't fix it, but basically that's what it needs to be happening. So if I just do a quick search just to prove I'm not trying to excuse myself. Basically, I would need to go configure this this account. And obviously this is just on Android. This one I've just shown you guys on the beginning of the stream. Well, it doesn't really matter. Basically, on your side, if you found any problems, well, do feel free to any comment on the video, ask on the community. I'll be around. Or basically, if you guys have done this in the past, it should be good. Like doing this. Why is it test API? I have no idea. React Native. Yes. Right, ADB devices. This is really weird. This is one thing that I find that, no, right, it finds, it found my device. I have no idea why Android is so difficult just for a person just to start developing. So this is for me phones, which is kind of ironic because it's my phone. Go to developer options, scroll down to return me on optimization disabled. Phone will reboot. Check now. If you're using an Android phone, yes, because it gets. Delete the old app. Well, I didn't install anything, did I? Yep, it didn't. Oh, this is a good way to just end up. I don't think I can do this. Yeah, I don't think I can. Let me try to do this solution. Just to try to see. So I need to go to our Android folder. It's not fair for you guys. I mean, for me, it's like, oh, just I need to do this and that, or just go into my development environment, which are already configured. But there's these pains of first setups that no one is ready to. Unfortunately, it's not just, you know, browser is running. You don't need to install anything on a browser to run like, let's say, a Node app or Angular or a React app. This one is just so, oh, no, I need to do the change to Android folder, which is this one. And now I try to run Gradle. And because I don't have the variables, I cannot say do a clean. Right. I don't think I need to update anything. But I don't think I have also ADB here. Do I? I do have. Oh, so I can do this. ADB kill server. And ADB storage server. Basically, server is the thing that will listen to the devices. So if I do ADB list all the devices. A non-command list. Okay. Devices. There we go. So it is find my device. Okay, let's try for last time. Why did I decide to show my phone? Oh god. Why? Of all the things that he needed to do. Let me try to search for this one. Yes. Yes. Yeah, it is. But the thing is, my phone did compile even today, not today, but yesterday, and I didn't change unless I did confirm any sort of change in here. Let me just confirm. Might be me. Might have just had uncheck something. Developer options. Uncheck developer options. Check again developer options. Let's see. USB debug was not active. Accept. You can see, you'll see this message, at least on Xiaomi phones, saying, well, you're going to activate developer mode. Are you sure? Or at least the bug is might be, insecure. You just say, I don't really care. Just do whatever you need to do. I'm going to do revoke USB debugging authorizations. Remove the cable. Wait a second. Put the cable in. File transfer. Should ask if I want to add this computer to do that. In any second now. There we go. Going to show allow USB debug, which should show, and you guys should be able to see it. And you say yes. I have no idea if this is RSA, but key fingerprint, but this is normally the correct one. So it's detecting my phone. It's detecting it for doing debug. So this should run. And now I need to look at my phone because it will ask if I authorize it to install. God damn it. Unknown failure. Security exception. You need Android permission install. Dude, this is like completely new bug. Not completely new, but it worked before. React Native. This is one of those streams that I was hoping that things would go right, but not, the basics of actually debugging on the device. You need. I have no idea what this is. And copy. What does it say? Doesn't make any sense. You're not making any sense, man. Commissioner trying to run. Error installing app. Into this one. Let me just. Well, this might happen, but it's fine. I'm just tempted just to. What's this one? Your software, because your code is set to capability, or is that true? In local memory. What is this? This one is new. No idea what this is. I've been developing Android for at least six, more probably 7 years now. I have no idea at this point. Probably since 2014, and I have never saw this one. This has never happened. No, I'm suffering it live. Sharing with everyone. Thank you for sharing. For being here for me. I can share my pain. Doesn't make any sense. What the hell is the Git memory? What the hell? Oh god. Come on. Let's do one better. Let's close everything that we don't need. Which is just one of those things. Open your tab. make error, mobile go, node module, exact. Says, obviously, it's very helpful the way it's written. The whole stack trace, which doesn't help too much, to be honest. Good. What the hell is this? So, let me search for this one. Appium, which is not the same platform, but this has a similar explanation to what I need. I assume this is because setting cannot install with the G option, because what's the G option? What is it talking about? I have no idea. G option. Oh, right, because this might be an option for the Appium. Some Chinese phones, there's no problem. Minus G option, make sure it's up to date first. If this doesn't work, there is nothing you can do anymore. You must contact the phone manufacturer to fix the bugs. Doesn't make any sense. USB debugging, security settings. Okay, I think I've saw that option. It is enabled. I think it's enabled. This is the thing, because there's 10 ups. Thumbs up saying, yep, this is the thing. So let's see. Additional settings, developer options. Oh, okay. USB debugging. No, USB debugging is security settings. Allow granting permissions and simulating input via USB debugging. Maybe I need this one. Sure. Let's see if this works. Oh god, he's asking me for permission and then he's saying with the delay. Right, so I just basically add permissions to do an extra permission. Let me see if this is the thing. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. I don't want to. Oh, did someone suggest something? Sorry, I'm looking at the chat reel on here on my tablets, and my tablet is saying there's no such thing as someone speaking. Damn it! There we go. There's a. So basically, my tablet says no one is speaking, and there's a whole world of people speaking here. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Oh god, there's a whole of conversations I didn't see because my tablet didn't inform me of chat window. I'm sorry. I'm going to say next time I'll use my phone and not really chat. So let me not tablet. Let me see what you guys said here. Remove your state import from profile. Oh, there's a lot of things. I need to 2 teams, light, white. Sorry. Oh god. God, that's a lot of things to see here. Let's see. You guys said Z shell for Max. All your accounts may still using Bash. That's true, Dom. Unfortunately, I had that experience in the worst possible way. I did update it, and next day it was on Z shell. I had to reconfigure everything. Remove the app or reinstall the app on Android. You see, that's the problem. It's not even installing it. That's the problem. That's one of the suggestions, was to reinstall the app. The app is not even getting to that step. I'm trying to update it with USB debugging with security settings on, not off, which is by default. So, yep, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Actually, no. Device is null. Getting somewhere. Removing the cable. Putting the cable back in. File transfer. Try it again. Now I can see the conversations. Oh god. Again, sorry guys. I was like looking at my tablet, I was like, no one is saying anything. I'll just continue. There we go. Now I can see it. So, okay. for Xiaomi phones, or basically, this guy was correct. For Chinese phones, which, I mean, every single phone is Chinese, to be honest, but you know, for Chinese brand phones, you need to activate the security parts. And you'll be asked if you want to install that. And you need to confirm. Although I didn't do that on my other environment. So I either had a flag of sorts, which is really weird, or I don't know. But let me show you guys. By default, I have the dark mode on, so you should be able to see it with different colors, right? You can see it just scrolls fine. I mean, not that impressive of an app. It scrolls fine. And you can select, am I showing it correctly? Probably. And you can select different tabs. So, I mean, it was like the 20 minutes debugging session here, which was not really, wasn't a bug, was a feature, right? Thank you so much for trying to help me, although I didn't see it. You know, I think the thought that counts. I'll try to read this probably after the stream. Sorry, guys. I missed 30 minutes. What did I miss? Not that much, to be honest. Setup, mandatory teaching in the stream. Yeah, no. Involuntary issues with the stream, with the microphone, apparently. I didn't know it caused an issue with compiling. Gonzalo. Hello, Gonzalo. Sorry, I didn't see you. I would say, hello, Gonzalo. I hadn't seen it since like 3 days ago or something. He should be done. Interesting. Not React Native. No, it's React Navigation, because I think it can be used with different things, Chris. It's been a while since I've used React Native. That's an error so much nicer than big red mess of a text in Expo. That's true. That's one of the reasons I prefer just plain old React Native with the new React Navigation version 5, which is really different from version 4. I had a really nice episode of porting things from 4 to 5. It was not very pleasant. Red mess. I spoke, and I can show you guys. I mean, I can show you guys now that we've done for today. Screen again, and he had option, he had text. Oh, there we go. See, there text. Bedtime for, oh, that would be perfect. Initial root name. I wonder how anyone gets done with. Chris, that's a good question. How anyone gets anything done at hackathons? That's quite easy. Instead of using these pre-built apps, you use the pre-built apps with your pre-built code. That's the way to go. You just call it generic project A, and therefore you just go, and minute 1 you are ready to go because you already spent like 2 hours doing this at home. That's the better explanation I have for this kind of thing. Let's see. It's one of those things that you're not able to call it 24/7. You're unreadable. You barf out something like your work can be done. Yep. Goals. Goal not. What's up? Hooks. Chris will be proud. I mean, I just use hooks now for everything from states, which we didn't talk on this session, but there's also the whole spiel of states on the app. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to cover it. We'll do cover it on next features because states will be very important, like when it starts, running things one time specifically. Losing focus might be an issue that we have in the future, or it might not get that complex, but we can handle this kind of things like unload certain features, load certain features, because Android needs, or mobile development in general, needs to conserve data, it needs to conserve battery, and it's really important that once you close your phone, it will still not continue going, you know, background. Commit demand. Oh, there we go. There was the commit demands. Sorry, Hamza. Yeah, could be useful. Was not ignoring you. Therefore, yep, there we go. It's the end of it. 2 teams. Yeah, good here. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for trying to help me, although I didn't see it. Again, I will use my phone next time for the chat. My tablet is really unreliable for this kind of things. Again, do not buy. People would do, you know, promotions on products and say stuff like, buy this product on that. Let me be the first to do the opposite of that. Do not buy the Amazon Fire Tablet 8. I bought it with the illusion that I was going to do some development watching some YouTube, and actually, if I was fed up with the operating system, actually formatting it with another operating system, it cannot be done on this version, and therefore it's really rubbish. So yeah, that was the product placement of today. Do not buy this Amazon tablet. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next one, hopefully with less bugs and less problems and more features. That's the most interesting things. Bye guys, see you around. I'm waving at the webcam, but the webcam is already off. Thank you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.